Yo, what's up guys, John Boogle here. We got the Crazed Cow Redux guide. This time of course with no true forms. Let's hop into the lineup. So I'm going to break it down into 3 sections. Of course, this is not the exact same lineup you're going to need. There's 3 sections to this lineup and units can be replaced in each section. So to start off, the most important thing I think in this level is by far the amount of stallers or meat shields you have. It doesn't matter what it is, the only key one I want to mention here is Crazed Wall. Other than that, the rest can be just filler meat shields. All you need to make sure is have at least 4, 5 is the safe number. The reason why this is so important is because Crazed Cow is a single target enemy unit. That means it'll only hit one unit at a time. If there's more meat shields on the field, it makes it more difficult for the Crazed Cows to reach your attackers. It's as simple as that, nothing too complicated. Just bring a whole bunch of meat shields and you're fine. The counterpart to this is bringing high level meat shields. You can go by in this level with like 3 high level meat shields. Let's say you got Crazed Wall, you got True Form Wall, and Ramen, that could definitely work. But without true forms, the spam of meat shields is really the strat because we don't have the access to higher levels. At the very least, just make sure Crazed Wall is level 20. Everything else can be like level 10 to 20 for your meat shields. Now, the second part of the lineup is your Ubers or your Legends. In this case, we're using Bahamut and Urudun Wolf. These units will help you hold some ground and get some nice damage out on the field as well, and they can be replaced by any generic area attack Uber with similar stats. So if you don't have Urudun Wolf, you can use like Kalisa, Jizzo, etc. There's millions of Ubers to replace both of these units. The second most important part of the lineup is your attackers. Without your attackers, you won't be able to stack enough DPS and you won't be able to kill. The main one here being Crazed UFO, the most powerful unit for the stage, other than a certain unit, but we're restricted to no true forms here, so if you don't have true forms, Crazed UFO is the best in slot unit for the stage, having one of the highest area attack damage outputs and decent range, as well as being very accessible. Now, to mention it just in case, Mercat's true form is the one unit that is the ultimate unit for the stage. Cameraman, of course, its stackability is sky high, the cost is super low, the damage output is really high for an area attack spammable unit, and of course the survivability is even great as well, which has a 1-up on Crazed UFO. The only thing Crazed UFO does better than Cameraman is its range and its high DPS output, but it's at the cost of a higher unit cost. But that is a small worry in the stage since the stage does give a huge amount of cash. But Crazed UFO, Cameraman, those are the 2 best units for the stage here, being the most accessible. The rest of the attackers is very simple. If you've seen any of the other Crazed Redux guys I've made, you'll probably already know this by now, but just fill with generic AoE attackers. Area of effect units that deal great amount of damage from range, have decent amount of health, and can stack fairly quickly, such as, of course, figure skating cats like we're showing here, Castaway, Ring Girl, Paris, Cameraman. Even Volter Cat can go into the section of a generic AoE attacker. While the recharge isn't too great, it still works. If you for some reason have Chill Cat, that can work as well. The spammable Ubers also could be in this role. The prime example being Jizzo. That pretty much does it for the lineup explanation. Let's hop into the stage. Now as for power-ups / battle items here, Rich Cat is recommended, but if you're going to use Rich Cat, then I would recommend using CPU with it as well. That can be a very helpful combo because it can help you spam way faster. But the thing I don't recommend is using CPU without Rich Cat in the stage because it can screw you over if you do not have a max wallet. So if you're going to use CPU, I recommend using Rich Cat. If you're going to use Rich Cat, I recommend using CPU. But it is possible without power-ups, and that's what we're going to show in the first run. Now, without power-ups, you're going to have to play this a bit differently, but it's not too drastically different. In the beginning, our main goal is to stack our wallet as much as possible. So what you want to do is not over-push, but not under-push, so cows smacking your base. You want to find that sweet spot of balance where you're pushing enough to where you can hold the cow back without doing too much damage. And in this case, we're using Castaway, one Castaway cat with a bunch of crazed walls, just trying to keep it alive as long as possible so we can stall as much time as possible to get our wallet developed. This is going to take some muscle memory, but doing this stage hundreds of times, I've already figured it out by now. So yeah, what you want to do is try to get to this spot right here. Your main attacker dies and you're just spamming meat shields for the rest of the runtime here until we get our wallet max, which we already did, and we get a decent amount of cash built up as well. Once you figure out how to do this, it is very easy from this point on, because all you need to do is just wait until the horde of cows are unleashed from the base, and by the time they reach the base, you'll have enough cash for a decent amount of attackers. Then you can just start sending them out. Now don't send them out as soon as they're right next to the base. When they reach halfway, that's when you want to start sending out your units. Then they'll meet the cows in this nice spot right here. You don't want to be too far away because that makes it difficult for your attackers to get up in time, but at the same time, you don't want to be too close to the base to where the cows can easily start ramming the base down. Now from this point forward, it's just spam. All you gotta do is just spam. Make sure to not waste too much cash before you start spamming. You might not have enough wallet space to send out both of your Ubers or legends at once. So send out one and then try to build up some stack of your attackers like Crazy UFO. Once you take out the initial wave of crazed cows, that's when you send out your Crazy Bahamut or your other Uber or whatever you're using. Essentially, just wait for the cash boost and that's when you start spamming manically. The rest will just be Crazed UFO carry or Bahamut carry. If you do have a Bahamut for some reason, that'll just destroy everything. I do not expect a Bahamut havers to be watching this guide, but if you do, just know a Bahamut will sweep everything here. But that was the no power-up slash battle items example. It is a bit different with power-ups, so I'll go over that. And yes, this was our first clear. With power-ups, this becomes a pretty big joke. I mean, it already is a decently big joke if you know how to play the stage right, but with power-ups, you can just be very aggressive in the beginning because you have enough cash to spare. As you can see, we're pushing forward all the way to the halfway point because we have enough cash to spare, and that is a huge thing in this level. If you have enough cash in the beginning, you can just stack up and have no worry at all. And as you can see, we were able to just push forward very effortlessly. The main difference is in the beginning where we didn't have to do any shenanigans to save up cash. Even without Crazy UFO, it is just very simple stage once you figure out how to tackle it. The beginning is always the most important. If you set up correctly, you're gonna be set for the other half of the level, which is just mindless cat spam, and of course CPU will just do that for you. And in this stage you can see the huge difference without Crazy UFO. We actually got pushed back a bit there, but eventually we were able to recover, of course, but that just goes to show how Crazy UFO does help tremendously. But yeah, that was the Crazed Cow Redux guide. Drop a like if this guide helped you out. Of course, subscribe if you're new, join the hashtag Boogle gang. It's me, John Boogle, and see ya.